What does Trump do? It's like, oh, there's a good inflation report. Maybe I should do the thing that jacks up inflation. No tolls can exist on international waterways. Bombs and missiles didn't work. Diplomacy definitely didn't work. That MOU, which everybody in their right mind, so not you, Jesse, said, this doesn't seem like a good idea.
I want to hop into a few clips of Fox News The Five with Jessica Tarlov back this time, setting the record straight against her co-host MAGA propaganda. So leave us a like on the video. I'm aiming for 100 likes by the evening. Subscribe, comment for the algorithm as well, and we can get straight down to a much needed breakdown.
What about Marco Rubio called up and said, could you run the clip of me a month ago where I said no tolls can exist on international waterways? That's the way this works. And the investment will come, what does it add to the 17 trillion that he says that we've already gotten, or whatever number he comes up with?
I think we're at 19 trillion now.
19 trillion.
21 left.
It's hard to keep up with.
Yes, it's going all too fast, and it's all too farcical for my simple liberal mind. I cannot believe that you guys are still pretending like this is going okay.
It's because in this new age of politics that Trump has cultivated, the only thing that matters is really confirmation bias, because Trump has created such tribalism and division, especially among his side, that all he has to do is worrying about keeping them believing the farce. So there's an onus from everyone in that apparatus to paint everything as Trump does as successful. It doesn't matter if he's doing something they just called bad under the Democrats. It's good now because Trump. It doesn't matter if he's going back on direct campaign promises. It's good because Trump. Like Biden sends aid to Ukraine, well, that's warmongering. But when Trump starts war with Iran, it's peace through strength. So it's an ecosystem of unserious people taking all of their information from unserious people while calling anyone with an impetus to tell the truth or report honestly fake woke news with radical Marxist TDS, to the point of like, what, the war campaign has been lost, but is somehow being spun as a victory to these clowns. And if you question that, it's your TDS and your lack of patriotism and this or that.
Bombs and missiles didn't work. Diplomacy definitely didn't work. That MOU, which everybody in their right mind, so not you, Jesse, said, this doesn't seem like a good idea. We're giving them a lot. Within, a few days, we had to yank back the waivers for the oil.
What did we do? We didn't give them any money.
You let them start shipping out, making money. You gave them access.
And oil prices fell to 70 bucks a barrel.
But you know what's really interesting? So that inflation report was good. I said, oh my God, the biggest drop since April 2020, right? So 4.2% down to 3.5. Okay, I'm preparing for the 5. I want to make sure, I want America to succeed. I want us to not pay too much. But I'm also wondering, what's the hitch? This is a huge drop. What's the difference maker? Oh, we had the fake promise of a diplomatic solution to this.
This part is really funny because MAGA wants credit for some reason as inflation drops 0.7%, detailing it as the biggest drop in years. Trump is slashing prices to save American pocketbooks, except it dropped from 4.2%, where his war caused it to go, to 3.5%, still over 1% higher from when he took office, still outside of the range that is economically desirable, still outpacing wages massively, which is like the real metric here that matters. Also funny because when COVID spiked, inflation outside of Biden's control, and he brought that down faster and stronger than any other country, MAGA told you he deserved no credit for it. I mean, they still try and define his entire presidency by the 2022 peak that he solved. But when Trump personally causes inflation to go up over 4% and doesn't even cause it to go back down to when he comes to office, it just drops to 0.7%. Well, now he needs all this glory and praise for fixing an issue that he caused, but not even fixing it to where it was before he started causing it.
What does Trump do? It's like, oh, there's a good inflation report. Maybe I should do the thing that jacks up inflation right away. I should declare war again. But this time I'm going to, quote unquote, ask Congress. Maybe they'll do a war powers vote again. Maybe then I'll just have to say, I actually respect Article 1 for the first time ever. And they did it, right? This is on Congress now. I can't do anything because I have such respect for the Constitution. That's my scenario.
That was hard to follow. Yeah, with all due respect, it was almost funny, but then it got hard to follow.
Can you at least applaud Trump's...
The Constitution that threw you off?
No. It was the fact that Trump wanted to create inflation. I didn't get it.
This jacks up prices if you go back to work.
Still lower than what it was under Biden.
It's not that outrageous.
Yes. Let's have a bipartisan moment. We should all be able to applaud the restraint Trump showed by waiting till Pride was over to bomb the gay Ayatollah. There were no bombs in June. July is here. Inflation is down. This is a political winner for him in the sense that people want this to end and they feel like we have the cards.
This really is just crazy. I don't think anyone who isn't delusional thinks that we hold any cards in this war after being told 40 times that we're days away from ending it to it now being well over 150 days and still dragging on. There was a ceasefire that failed, a diplomatic deal that failed, and like, don't forget, we've lost 13 Americans. We've wasted over $100 billion, and they're still able to respond, attack Gulf states, and they're showing no fractures or willingness to take a bad deal. What part of any of this says we hold the cards? You also have to love Jessica losing them at the second she goes into the Constitution. Now, what I think we're seeing psychologically is Trump likes to have the optics of going against the grain and doing it on his own when he feels like it'll turn out good, so he gets all the credit. But when something is going bad or could go bad, he then likes the culpability of being able to blame others. We saw this a lot in his first term or after his first term, when in his first term, he was just tricked by the deep state and none of it was his fault, which is why he needs the second go that is now going so much worse.
I looked him up, and he says he wants free college. All right, so he wants me to pay for some other parent's kids who can't afford college. All right, I don't want to do that. I can barely afford college for my 4 children. All right, they better have a scholarship. No oil and gas. He wants no oil and gas. He wants solar panels on my house. It would ruin the look of my house. And he says Medicare for all. You know what that means? He wants to take away my doctor and have the government run it. I love Dr. Siegel. Don't you come between me and Siegel, all right? We had a great relationship. And he's a fake physician. He said he was a physician. He's never seen a single patient. And then I'm like, all right, this guy's dumb. And then I look at her, and she scares me more than he does.
She's a moonbat. Jessica, will you donate to the GoFundMe for Jesse's kids' college fund?
So this is all funny because he's essentially doing like the middle-aged conservative bit, but it's just actually him. Medicare for all isn't the government running your doctor, right? Medicare for all is a healthcare payment system, not a healthcare system. Funny enough, private insurance actually can take your doctor away. Like what do you say, Dr. Segal? If his private insurance deems Dr. Segal out of network, well, guess who Jesse isn't going to see anymore? Meanwhile, there isn't networks in Medicare for all. He doesn't want money going towards other kids' college, but like, I'm sorry to tell you this, Jesse, if you think the entirety of your tuition costs are for your child alone, you're dumb. And we already pay taxes that go towards federal grants and such, though I'm sure you're against those. So he's really just mad that the college he's saying he can barely afford will be more affordable, but for everyone, not just him. It's like weird to downplay efficient ideas that have data behind them on the basis of vibes, because like at least on vibes, you can present yourself as like the everyman or something and is what every American agrees with when there's not really actually anything to back that up.